Boom, and we are live. Welcome to the Contradiction, guys, with myself, Byron McDonald, and Lathia Mikan. As I say each week, Facebook is a private-owned interface, so if you do get logged off, just hop back onto this page, and you'll find a new link there. We're also multi-streaming on various platforms, so comment and
Engage.
Yeah, you never want to help me out.
Hey, listen up. If you're lucky enough to fall in love with someone, try not to ruin it by Googling them.
The Contradiction with Lathia McCann and Byron McDonald.
Just to make sure you don't forget what we look like.
Look like.
Like me. So as I say each week, the contradiction is about bringing different viewpoints together and allowing you, the viewer, the opportunity to comment and engage and share your viewpoint on tonight's topic.
What is the next topic?
Relationship-based, as we usually do.
There's 4 smiles. Lekker cookie in die hart in.
We had some good dessert today, so that was perfect. Always a smile when you have something sweet touch your lips.
Okay, now Lathia normally asks me. She normally starts off the week by asking me, so Byron, how was your week? How was your day? Lathia, how was your week? How was your day?
Always pleasant, always good. I think that is actually what we're going to talk about, is to look for the good in everything, right?
No, why? Anyway, good evening. I'm Marisha Peterson. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Love you so much for greeting us. Lathia never greets me. She only goes and sleep at night. Sometimes she never greets me. But Lathia, I'm going to leave it on you so we can get the topic going. But anyway, as I was asking, how was your day, man? How are you doing
Beautiful.
today?
I had a pleasant day. It was a beautiful Sunday evening. I trust all of you that is tuning in right now had just as a beautiful, pleasant day as we did. So, yeah, how have you been?
She sounds so formal. So I had a pleasant, beautiful day. It was nice today. We had a beautiful day out there. And we had a cupcake that was cream on top. And everything was nice. But anyway, let me just get deep into the topic.
Okay, how are you doing, Byron?
I'm doing good. I'm good every day. Every single day of my life is a blessing. And I'm not going to go over and overboard. Start dodging the question I want to ask you. We'll start coughing. Overcoming insecurities in a relationship. Where do we start?
What's your question?
But that's the thing. Overcoming.
Okay, that's a statement.
Yo, trek me. So much
Is it
start
the question? Is it overcoming insecurities in a relationship? Like it's posing a question?
And
Or is
also, if you have a comment on this statement, as Lathia is saying, because she's being rhetorical with me anyway. I'll ask her, where do we start from here? Not even assisting me, letting me ask all the questions. Overcoming insecurities in the relationship. If you can hear us also, please let us know. If you can hear us loud and clear, say
okay.
Thumbs up. We can hear you guys, then we can get lekker into it.
And please share your personal experience if you want to. You don't have to go into further details, but just your thoughts on this topic, because I know that insecurity exists within all of us. So I do believe that every single one of you that is tuning in right now has some great value to share with us and with the rest of the viewers, and to also share perspective, which is exactly what the show is about. So please go ahead, drop your comments, and go ahead and like and share this as well to continue sharing this valuable content that we will be sharing tonight. I believe and I trust. Okay, so let's go back into the topic: overcoming insecurities in a relationship. Where do I stand on this, or where do we start?
She's insecure, guys.
I think the first and foremost, we need to ask ourselves where the insecurities are stemming from.
That's a good question.
Where are your insecurities stemming from? I think it's natural and normal to have some sort of insecurity, as well as some form of jealousy in a relationship. I would believe, and I think that in any relationship, when you enter into a relationship, you usually come emotionally vulnerable because you're sharing a part of yourself with your partner. So there might be certain insecurities that comes into play, and I would also think that either based on your past experience, based on your childhood, your attachment with your parents, all those things plays a role. Even your past relationships. What was your past relationships like? Why did that end? So when you enter into a relationship, all those factors needs to be taken into consideration to understand whether it's something within yourself or whether it is really something that you are witnessing within the relationship, and how to deal with those insecurities within the relationship if it's something that you feel is coming from your partner.
So basics is where do you start with not overcoming with insecurities in the relationship? And you basically just said now that we all have it. I just want to say good evening to those who greeted us. Eloise, hope you're well. Please pop a comment and tell Lithia she's insecure and she needs to overcome it. I sure hope you are. But I'm going to start with Bernadette. Bernadette said it starts with self-love is the key in overcoming insecurities in a relationship.
Okay.
Now, there's different types of self-love.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say, I would like to mention, and I would
Mm.
like to think in the end of the day. So before I go on to that topic, I just want to say when I start with understanding insecurities, and insecurities is something that you have that you dealing with, something that you're dealing with in your mind, and your partner is probably not dealing with that same insecurities that you have. So yes, I do agree with Bernadette that self-love is the key in overcoming insecurities. But I'll also add something else: self-understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, it's good to love yourself and all that things, but some people that love themselves, they build more insecurities because they build a defense mechanism on top of that. Because self-love comes with other things attached to it, saying this person is disrespecting me. He's looking at another girl's bum while he's walking with me. He knows I have that insecurity. Then your guy does not even know. Meaning you're loving yourself because you're respecting yourself, but you're not understanding the situation at hand. Meaning that situation is you. Do you agree with me? Or do you disagree? Look at sensitive, touching, sticking a knife, putting a sensor. But okay, anyway, before she kills me, let me greet the people.
Okay.
Lisa, hello, please help me, Lisa. I'm just letting her stop you also. Alvin, I'm
Hello,
joking.
Alvin.
I'm joking. Go on.
Okay.
Oh, the screen might freeze now and then.
Yes, because the connection is it's a bit inconsistent. But let me just go. And we always we the two of us,
And
we're
I'll
quite
pop it up-
open.
I'll
We
pop it on
we are
again.
quite
I'll pop it on
open with ourselves. We are quite open with where we are at within our relationship. We are open about our past experiences, our growth through those experiences, and where we find ourselves now. And I think I know the reason why we're doing this is because we want to share a part of our growth with the rest of with everybody else, and also how we came to have this great understanding. Because we hope that it can help and assist you as well, and not that we saying that all relationships are the same, that you should take our advice, but this is just our perspective.
And plus, we also deal with our insecurities. Also.
Exactly,
So
and
that is the reason.
That is exactly. So most of the topics that we have, it's things that within the relationship that we have dealt with, that we are dealing with, or that we are yet to deal with.
Ooh, I know, and we are yet to deal with.
So this topic came up. Of course, it's something within our relationship that we discussed, and that we've moved past, still moving through. I would like to believe, and this is also the thing that strengthens our relationship.
Did it?
Through this show, we reflect and we learn to understand each other. It's like our own personal therapy.
Our own diary, our own personal diary.
Our own little diary, our own journal. So you go back, you watch it, you reflect, and then you come back and discuss it as well. So this is definitely helping us as well. So going back to the self-love is the key in overcoming insecurity. Where do you start with self-love? That's the thing. Many people, they speak about self-love, but they don't know how. They don't know how to get the process started. I think that one of the reasons I would say that most people are insecure, not necessarily only looking at insecurity within a relationship, but insecurity within themselves, in the workplace, in the world, caring what other people think. We have the need for control.
Whew,
we have the
Can I attach that to self-love? Just for that moment, just to make an understanding. I'm giving an analogy because a lot of people think self-love is it does not go hand in hand with defense, because I've noticed a lot of people think they love themselves, then they become so defensive. Sorry for throwing you off track.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, sorry, I'm just going to leave it there.
So let me just go back to you. You can explain yourself and your point of view, but I would say that people are obsessed with wanting to be in control of everything. They want to be sure and certain about what the relationship outcome is going to be. What is their partner doing? What is their partner thinking? So because they're obsessed with wanting to know things, with wanting to be in control, this creates some sort of insecurity and anxiety within themselves, because they cannot control the next person, they cannot control what people think, they don't know what's going on in their partner's mind. So now these types of insecurities arises, and you start formulating these imagination within your head, and not really looking at the realistic situation, and you are basically self-sabotaging, because you have this need and this obsession of wanting to be in control. Why does that stem? Where does the need and the obsession for needing control? It is fear.
But lack of consistency.
No, but I would say it is fear. And I think it exists within us.
But where does fear stem from?
With
Inconsist-
uncertainty. With
Exactly.
uncertainty.
Lack of consistency of stuff that happens in your life.
Okay.
So say for instance, you're in a relationship now at this moment, right? And I'm going to go to the other comments now. And I saw something at the bottom now. Kiam, if I'm saying the name right, ask a question. Don't worry. Ask a question. Go ahead and ask a question. We'll get there. We'll try to dissect it if we can. We only give our perspective on it, and we'll get a perspective from you. But here's the other thing I wanted to get, and we're going to get back to not self-love. We can move on from there because we explained what we think about self-love. I think self-love it's defined as understanding yourself, understanding how to treat the next person, and that whatever insecurity stem from yourself, you can't attach it to self-love. It's just something that's an emotion that comes up to you. So loving yourself is fine, but also looking out for that. You see that thing that's going around, red flags is a different thing going around. Also, loving yourself is fine, but also understanding your emotions should be a barrier of loving yourself, meaning you're loving the other person and understanding them. But okay, I don't want to confuse it, so let me move on. Where was I now? What was I saying? Anyway, consistency. A lot of people say, yeah, I'm fearful because I've been cheated on. I'm fearful because I always take bad boys. I always date bad boys. I'm fearful because I'm always with a guy that's filthy or a girl that's filthy. A lot of these consistent things, you consistently date the bad boy. You consistently date the guy that cheats on you. Consistently, these bad traits happens to you. But the main thing that you're ignoring, keyword this week, red flag. You keep on ignoring and not learning from in relationships. Now, girls or guys, they then start this defense mechanism where they say, I'm going to start loving myself. I'm going to start doing things that's right for me. But forgetting to understand, how did these things happen to me? Am I just that bloody bad luck? Or do I ignore the red flags? Do I ignore the traits of a cheater? Do I ignore the traits of a faulty guy? Do I ignore the traits of a guy that doesn't understand my value? That's
Don't
where...
forget about women, because it's not just women that's insecure, it's men too.
No. I'm just making example of
Yeah.
a man. I'm speaking to ladies. You can speak to men because sometimes men think I'm going to be overpowering, trying to give them tips. And women like to listen to men sometimes, just plain and simple. They don't want to listen to a woman also. I've seen that before. But this is the thing. That consistency of things happening to you. It's like when you fall in love or so. You don't just fall in love overnight. You might be infatuated in the first stage. You might then be all touchy-feely with this person. But this is where lack of love grows. Yes, you fall in love, but then you become comfortable. Now, maybe your guy was an outgoing guy, or he was a drinker, or he was a guy that always gelled his hair and looked smart and was buffed. Now he starts eating more, he doesn't exercise, and abruptly all these things start stopping. You then lose attraction for each other. That consistency of him looking after himself when you used to court each other is lost both ways. That consistency of stuff is lost. Now insecurities start going because this guy used to have this physique, this body, this looking after himself. Now you think you're comfortable. You start calling each other, oh, my little bommabomach, oh, my little fat cheeks, oh, look at you, you drink, you look like alcohol, oh, stinky toes. But he was never that type of guy. She was never that type of girl. Insecurities start building up because, again, the consistency of that breaking down, that little jokes, that little stuff. Now, he does not understand that. She does not understand that because it's not their life. It's not affecting them because I'm making this comment towards you, you're making this comment towards me. The more that consistent of breaking down builds insecurity. Now, all of a sudden, your guy watch motivational videos. He wants to look after himself and all these things, but you still left behind because you became complacent, right? He starts looking good. He starts losing weight. He starts doing well in his job. Remember, you live two different lives, but your mindset does not think that way. What you're thinking is, you're thinking, ah, he's still my man. We need to grow together. We need to jump together. We need to do. No, it's not his duty to force you to jump, not his duty to force you to do anything. He can show examples of how to live your life. But now your insecurity starts building up because now you still, I can't use the word fat. Did I already? Because now you picked up some weight,
yeah.
overweight, because people can be touchy by now using those words. You're a bit overweight. You lost maybe your job, your hairline's exceeding, something is happening because you're not looking after yourself. Now that's self-love, the part of self-love and self-understanding and maintenance. That's where it comes in. Now your insecurity starts building. Now you rub that insecurity off on him. Now, the more you say, yeah, who you I'm working out for, who you looking good for, what is wrong with you? You probably cheating on me. Every day the man must hear you probably cheating on me. And then it eventually cheats on you. Because every day you were going for the juggler, yeah, because your mom probably told you to do like that stuff. So you start attaching stuff on, yeah, you have a kid. What do you want to look good for? And he has to live his own life. Now he becomes unhappy. Now you meet someone that, oh, you look good, Angelo. Angelo, you look so brilliant. I like it when a cup of tea or whatever. Then let's go for a cup of tea. Let's have a chat, Angelo. Angelo goes and boinky boinky because relationship starts building with chats like we're having now. You and I are having a one-on-one chat. You're listening to me. Maybe I'm not listening back to you now at this very moment, but we start building emotions. Come back, he cheated. Now he becomes the bad guy. He broke you down and all these things starts happening. What's gonna happen next? Your insecurities is gonna flare up. You're gonna blame him. You're not gonna say I needed to, like Bernadette said, love myself, understand myself, and build on top of myself. And I'm not condoning cheating. That's also wrong, Angelo. Don't never do it. I'm just making an example, Angelo, of what could happen in a life and start understanding, Angelo. Rather get out of the relationship again. We'll get there also. Rather than step out of it, than breaking each other down further. But then understanding yourself and building an insecurity. But anyway, I'm going to let Lethea speak because I speak a lot. I got verbal diarrhea. So give a comment. Let us know what you think about that. And what would you think of how you'd overcome those type of insecurities?
I think we can just go to a few of the comments before we continue. Let's just go to Marisha.
Oh, say hi, Aisha. Afridin. Marisha on YouTube side.
So she says, I think at the beginning of a relationship, we all have insecurities, but as your relationship develops, you learn to work around it. Communication.
Communication.
Definitely.
Good evening, Lisa. Hope you're well. Please drop a comment, Lisa. Hello, Yala. I'm also all right. Hello, I hope you're doing
Hi,
well.
Alvin.
Okay, let's go.
Alvin says, I believe a relationship or any form of friendship should have boundaries. Be upfront in the beginning of that friendship.
Brilliant.
I love that comment.
That one.
And that interlinks into Marisha's comment, which we can tackle.
So when we go to Assalamu alaikum, Tahir.
Wa alaikum salam.
Anyway, so go to Lisa. Lisa has a comment there also.
Okay, so Lisa says it's natural to be insecure and jealous in a relationship. I think it's more so for us women than men. Women are more sensitive than men.
Lovely. Can I ask a question? I think it does ask. And
please do.
True, this is just agreeing with me, not with you. Just letting you know.
Competition here. No? Now that's also the thing. Competition in a relationship.
Bring it
That's
up.
another thing that we need to touch on. Red flags, most definitely.
Ooh, okay, so I'm asking a question.
So as much as so many people say good things about me, but my ex tried to convince me I'm a narcissist. Now, why can't I just let go of what she said?
Okay, here's the thing. Why can't you let go of what she said? Because here's two things. Maybe you're a narcissist. That's the one thing. The second thing is also because if you live the life that you don't have to regret, if you put everything out there, your ex, there's an ex for a reason. She's not in your life anymore. She doesn't know the person you are at this very moment because you don't spend time with each other. So there's one thing I'll give you an example. So her opinion does not matter because what if you were a narcissist yesterday and today you're a changed person? Plain and simple, point blank. So there's a way of letting go of it. She does not know who you are at this very moment.
Mm.
So yeah, let me go on to the next point or so. So if you're not a narcissist and you believe you're not a narcissist and you believe you're living a rightful way of life and the way you think and you want to let go of it, stop thinking what people think. This is another point why you can't let go of it, because if you were she's trying to convince you you're a narcissist, it means there is questionable actions that you've done that you re-questioning yourself on. So meaning you said, my ex trying to convince me, not convince people, you said, convince me I'm a narcissist. Now, why can't I just let go of what she said? Because there's certain things you've done that you're still questioning. If you know those things were not narcissistic things, why are you re-questioning yourself? Like myself, I always ask her when I got in the relationship, I said certain things like, maybe I did this. That's why my partner was like that with me. Maybe I did this. Maybe I did that. That maybe the whole time around that you were a bad person, you pushed the person one side. You need to understand that person, if it's a one-on-one narcissism way, if it's narcissistic towards the world, it's a different story. But you're talking about one-on-one relationships now. You are, I'm assuming. Now, this is where I'm coming in. You need to then say to yourself, I've done what I could have done. If you haven't, that's again your fault. I've done what I could have done. This is my example. I said to myself, my ex can say to people I'm a narcissist or try to convince me I'm a narcissist, a bad person. I know this is what I did at morning. I came to accept these are the bad things, these are the good things that I've done, but I need to accept it and move on and build and learn from there. So today, am I a narcissist? Maybe I still am to the world, but I need to live without regrets and move forward and understand how I can correct myself. Because if you're going to be trapped on the wrongdoings, you're going to do it again because maybe you want to still live that way. That's just my point of view. I don't know if Lithia agrees, but I just want to go on to
Okay,
comments.
let me just give my point of view on this
Okay.
as well. I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying.
On which point?
On the okay, you mentioned that maybe he's a narcissist, that's why I can't let go, because there's things within the relationship that he might have done that makes him feel that these are the characteristics of a narcissist. I think that in a relationship, when there's a breakdown in a relationship, individuals within a relationship are quick to throw stones at each other in order to put blame on the next party. And here's where it comes in. It's not about blaming the next person within a relationship. It is learning to take responsibility for your part that you've played. I think when it comes to the breakdown of a relationship, nobody's ever to blame. Each one has done or said things within that relationship that has caused that relationship to break down. Now, him questioning whether he's a narcissist, let's just go back. I think most narcissists never wants to admit that they are, and they don't believe that they are, and they would be in denial of them being narcissistic. Where if you are questioning, is this person real? Is it really true with what they're saying? I think he's actually trying to reflect on his behavior or his actions, and to a certain degree, because he feels that maybe his partner is making him feel guilty for the breakdown of that relationship. Maybe those characteristics, the things that he has done, is characteristics of a narcissist, meaning he's taking blame or feeling guilty for the breakdown of a relationship.
Because he's an overthinker, like you said.
Hence the reason he can't let go of what you said. Now, that's not what the narcissist does. If we
Okay.
should know.
Okay, now a narcissist can do this also. A narcissist starts playing victim around the world, right? So now you wanted to now maybe cover up for him or cover up for him reflecting and trying to understand who he is, which is brilliant.
Or what part he has played in within
What
that
part-
relationship.
Yes. Now,
that has
if
caused
I
the
had to
relationship
ask,
to
pose
break
the question,
down.
now if I had to pose the question, if I was you, and you can be the most emotional guy, sensitive guy, you ask, a question should have been posed like this: well, I've done these things towards my ex. Maybe hide, or maybe they want to say certain traits I believe is narcissistic traits, right? I believe is narcissistic traits. I've done certain narcissistic. This is owning up to what I've done. You see? You see, it's like empaths out there, so-called empaths. I don't like categorizing people. They like to call out, I said to you, I'm sorry because I'm an empath. Are you? You know? It's like putting out, I'm an empath. Now, narcissist never puts out, I'm a narcissist. Or sometimes they do even put out, I'm just a narcissist, man. It's a catch-22 situation. You need to define the traits that's been played in that game to make you question yourself the whole time. Because you wouldn't be convinced by your ex unless your ex is so manipulative and she has such a good sell point and she had so much things in the relationship to break it down. Meaning, if she came in and she said, yeah, well, he cheated on me, or she cheated on you and she plays the push and pull game. There's a lot of variables in place. So maybe I'm reading wrong and saying you came to ask this question. Why can't I convince? My ex is trying to convince me. Why can't I just let go? The question you just, the answer you just said at the bottom. Yeah, I'm just going up. You said I'm an overthinker and I overthink everything. Right? I'm gonna go. That's another point he made towards you.
Okay.
I'm an overthinker and I overthink everything. Now here's the thing. I don't understand how your thoughts go. I don't understand how you develop to understand yourself. But the one point I want to bring across: work on your behavior of yourself and your understanding and what makes you happy. You know, because that's where Bernadette said self-love comes in. As soon as you get to understand yourself and say, okay, my ex is she always goes on when I come in there and just talk to her parents. She does not like that to converse with him, or she's angry at me when I bring certain topics up. Then you ask yourself, is it because I hold her accountable on certain things? Or is it because she holds me accountable on certain things? You see, you need to start understanding your relationship with that person if you still have one. Because accountability plays a big role. That's when flare-ups come in. So now, for instance, your ex maybe went out with her friends and she did not ask you or tell you about it, and you would say, okay, baby, you went out. I don't think it's right. We're in a relationship together. Why have you not conversed with me? I feel uncomfortable, right? And she then tells you, oh, now you're insecure. You want to control me. You try to hold her accountable to her action. Now that flare up comes in. Now you feel like a control freak, which you maybe not. Now you need to go reflect on that. Was I holding accountable or was I controlling? There's two variables. The one could be a control freak, and the other one could just be, I wanted to hold you accountable to your action because you would like me to act a certain way.
And I think that that's where it comes in. If we can just move further up towards the comments where someone mentioned about creating boundaries within a relationship.
That's one.
Yes. So it was so as much as so many people say good things about no, the boundaries. Okay, so somebody mentioned that you need to create boundaries within a relationship for all at the beginning of the relationship. No, you just go back. Okay, so when you hold people accountable, you hold them accountable based on the boundaries that you have set from within that relationship. And I think that the only time these boundaries can be set is when these things actually flares up. So like Byron mentioned, if she wants to go out on a girls' night and it's never happened before, maybe for the first year that has never really been a thing that you guys have done. You never went on a boys' night. She's never been on a girls' night. And now all of a sudden she feels that, hey, I think we need to have time with our friends as well. So I'm going on a girls' night and you're welcome to go on a boys' night. And it's something that either of you are not comfortable with. That is where you need to start setting boundaries and say, look, I'm not comfortable with this. This is not the way I would wish my relationship to be. I think we're at a certain stage within our relationship where boys and girls' nights should not exist. Perhaps you can have a girls' day. You can go out and have a girls' day or so forth. So you decide, what are you willing to accept in a relationship? If your partner still feels that unfortunately that is not something that they they can accept, they can't accept you not accepting what they want, then of course that is where you need to decide, is it going to be a deal breaker? Is it going to cause other issues within the future? Is it going to cause insecurity within the relationship? And can you handle these things that your partner expects from you? So by overcoming insecurities, I would go back to the previous comment where boundaries needs to be created. So Alvin says, I believe a relationship or any form of a friendship should have boundaries. Exactly. Be upfront at the beginning of that friendship.
Exactly.
Of what you're willing to accept. And if your partner is not willing to respect your boundaries, then of course it shows either there's a lack of respect, there's a lack of empathy towards you and your feelings, and a lack of compassion. So question is, if you love someone, are you not going to care about how they feel? And aren't you going to try to make the relationship work to come to a common ground and to compromise things that can be compromised, not things not to a point where it's going to make you unhappy. If you are compromising on your own happiness, of course, I don't disagree where you need to compromise on things that makes you happy, that fills your cup, that is good for you emotionally and mentally. You also should not allow your partner to keep you away from family or friends. But for example, a girls' night or a boys' night is something that can be negotiated upon, and many other things within a relationship where you can find alternatives. Okay, so if we can.
So let's just go to Bernadette, yeah?
So Bernadette says, when you really learn to love yourself, you will know that you are worthy, you are enough, you are beautiful, etc. You get to know who you are as a person, and when your partner decides to do questionable things in your relationship, you will not feel insecure about yourself, but you will know that the issue has nothing to do with you.
I fully agree with that.
Mhm.
I fully agree with that, and also trying to understand your partner. It's got nothing. That's understanding the last bit. Is know that the issue has nothing to do with you. Just trying to understand that person is dealing with their own thing. So if I can't accept it, I need to leave. Plain and simple. That's blunt decision. Hold yourself accountable
Accountable.
in your relationship. I love it how we said it together, Jinx. I'm talking Finnish now. hold yourself accountable. He says here, I disagree with the women and the more sensitive I should. I'm dominant by my emotions. Yes, that's the individual trait, but statistically, men are more logical thinkers than women in this life. And shoot me now, but that is the truth. What do you think?
I believe that women are more emotionally inclined by expressing their emotions. I think men also feel insecure, but they easily hide it because they have an ego
Society.
they don't want to bruise the ego. So instead, when they start feeling insecure within the relationship, I'm not saying that oh well, in my experience, when they do feel insecure, they start trying to seek outside validation instead of coming to communicate with you because they don't want to come across to you as they are insecure
That's
men.
right. That's right.
They still want to they still want you to respect them for the man that they
Mm.
want you to see them as. So now, to go and satisfy their own ego and to make themselves feel better
Don't
about
talk
the
about cheating.
insecurity,
Don't talk about cheating.
they're going to, even if it means going on a coffee date or flirting with a woman and them and entertaining that flirtatious behavior to
Ooh.
make themselves feel okay, now I still got it. I think
I still got it. But I agree with you. Totally agree with you. And that is why societal rates are higher in men. And men sit with depression, more depression than women. If you look at statistics, go look it up. It's because they keep all these things in because of our ego and our society portrays, should say how they should be, how they should look in society. Men should be stronger. Men are weak nowadays. All these things. So there's a lot of pressure on men. They can't cry out louder because then it's a laugh. And so yeah, I do understand where you're coming from, Kiam. We as men have emotions, but that's why we become logical thinkers because we had to make a decision of our actions and our emotions. So over the years, because of society, of our been oppressed because we can't share our emotions, we've become logical thinkers, and this is why women was so they had an outlet every time they intend to speak with their emotions. So when they have an argument, it might not be logical. And shoot me now, don't shoot me later. They normally then speak with the emotion, which is fine. And this is where you and as a man then have to again start understanding when I do argue, and unfortunately speaking male and female now, when I do argue with a lady, I need to understand my emotions, yes, is also there and I understand it, but I speak more logically because over the years I've been tuned like that. But I need to understand she might not make logical sense, but she's emotionally expressing herself. So let her gather that feelings, gather all that in, take it all in and try to listen. That's why they say men are not good listeners because we try to bring a logical point across. So let's not become good listeners. I had to accept that. And then you can reflect then on the situation on a later stage in a calmer state. Otherwise, you're just gonna hear your ma's and your mommy is not a good person, and I don't like her, and yeah, look at your fit neck, and look at your exceeding hairline.
Okay, so Kiam says it was a recent breakup, and that's actually something that I was going to touch on. Is I was going to ask when was the breakup, and when it comes to breakups, you need to understand the process of your healing. Not everybody heals at the same pace. Not everybody heals in the same way. So understanding where you are at and understanding the emotions that comes with that and learning to work through it and knowing that you will be strong enough to push through or to move through this phase and that you're not going to be stuck there. And healing is, of course, happens over time, but you also need to put in the work and understand that it's not going to be a feeling that's going to stay. You're going to heal and look for the lessons within this. Look for the lessons for the next relationship that you might want to enter into. So yeah.
Yeah. So Herschel says, "Hi guys, focus on God and then each other all should fall into place. That's value systems again, Virtual. I would agree with you that your value system with your partner. So a lot of people don't follow those value systems. So it all depends. Yes, I agree. Value system. I'll put it into value system that you and your partner share. Find one that you can focus on and build together on that. But
then
go
again,
back to understanding that you are individuals at that very point. So because you both have insecurities, you both have flare-ups, you both see the world differently, you don't see
Of
it through the
course.
same eye, all those things.
and I think there's still a lot of religious leaders that are still, um, you know, cheaters as well. So even though they think they're focusing on God, or you believe that this man is focusing on God as you are, you get a lot of wolves in sheep's
And
clothing.
then he uses God against-
God in order to justify his actions and his behavior.
even she. God said I should be here next to you. I'm joking, but anyway, let's
So-
go. Let's go. Yeah, not sensitive. That's a bit sensitive topic.
Yeah.
I won't go there.
Okay, so Eloise, financial insecurities from exes or partners is working on my nerves because they think that I grew up in a rich family, which is not true. How do I handle this?
Ooh.
Financial insecurities from exes or partners is working on my nerves. Okay. So because so she feels that there are men that feels insecure
Inferior.
or inferior because of where she is at financially.
Okay, so
Is that what I'm getting
they
at,
think
Eloise?
you spoiled and you see life differently. You're goody two shoes type of thing. If I'm right, please just let us know. I would see this again, Eloise. Don't give a flying shit how they look at you because a secured man wouldn't even be questioning that, Eloise.
Exactly.
So don't then look. It's actually good that you have that upon yourself because now you're chasing away all that insecure habits. We're speaking about insecurity. He's not even going to be able to overcome it. Yes, there might be some that treat you emotionally well, but that other point is important when it comes to maybe it's material success. I don't want to put a boundary on it. If it's important to him as a man and not important to him as a man, why does he consistently bring it up? Because you wouldn't have mentioned it if they don't bring it up. So they try to break it down in that way. Yeah, all you care about is money. But no, Eloise is just a goal-setting person. All you care about is buying things, and you don't want to think about now. And then I put in the whole about the now thinking, and life is not just about money. No, life is about surviving also. Me, I live day by day to enjoy myself, yes, but I have to be consciously aware. I need to live tomorrow, maybe also. I have responsibilities to set aside. Otherwise, I can't play this world. This life. I can't play in this life. Life is here to enjoy, yes, but there's rules of the humans that they set up. As much as I want to say it's not God's will for them to do what they're doing, they still control the rules. I'm gonna make my kids suffer when I don't put that. Do you have other variables that's gonna suffer on top of that? So yes, you are just the independent woman and stick to that. Stay that independent woman. You'll find a man that's confident enough to come to you, woo you, even maybe might not even have money. You get men that so set in their mind, but then they're dreamers again and they go-getters and they're hard workers. You find men like that. Then you get freeloaders. As soon as they buy you, they start breaking it down. Yeah, all you want to do is save money. All you want to do is have money. You make everything because of your parents. Now you want to show that you have money. Money is not everything. Leave that guy. Don't worry. Moving one side. Say no.
That's a man that
How did
doesn't.
that guy say?
That's the man that does not understand the game of the world. He still has a lot to learn, and he's not mature enough
He's a
for
boy.
you. He's a boy, exactly.
Anyway, other guys song go Gaan Suntu. Gaan Suntu. Anyway,
Okay,
but
so-
yeah, that's
so
my
Kian
point of
says,
view.
apparently I'm that as well, control freak. Just because I wanted her to start looking for work, now I just wanted her to be self-sufficient, but she thought I wanted her to be a career-based woman.
There, Eloise, we just spoke about it now. The opposite spectrum. Here's a man talking about it. Accountability. Remember what I said? What I said in the beginning. Accountability.
And this is something I wanted to mention is that in most cases, in most relationships, when individuals breaks up, you will always hear the woman says he was controlling me. But I've never heard a man in conversations that I've had with single men or men in relationships, they have never said, "Oh, she's trying to control me."
because they're being
It's
controlled.
usually women that makes this this accusation that this man
Statement.
is trying to control you. But is it control, or is it just that you're not willing to take accountability for your part that you're playing
Speak
in
to
the
ladies. Speak
relationship?
to the ladies. Oh, dude.
And the thing is, here's the thing. That is the only way you're gonna have a healthy relationship. and I always say this, is to own up to your shit. Own up to the things that you need to
Say it,
work on
ladies,
within
man. Ladies,
yourself.
own up to your shit.
Own up to it, because you're not going to, there's no perfect relationship. Let's just get that straight. And I believe that when you are in a relationship, you need to focus on the good in that relationship, because no relationship is perfect. There's always going to be things within the relationship that you feel might require work, that you feel is not working 100% for the level at a certain level which you would like it to. But you need to focus on the good in that relationship, because the more you're going to focus on the bad, the more the bad is going to manifest. And that's the only big thing you're going to see, is this big elephant in the room that's just not working for you.
Ooh, don't call her
So-
a big elephant, eh?
So when you focus on the good, this creates a sense of security, it's a sense of positivity between yourself and your partner, and this also draws you closer together, and it makes you stronger when you both acknowledge, you know what, this is working in our relationship. Let's not break this good thing that's working down because of X, Y, and Z, especially if it's things that can be worked on, that can develop and that can grow. So that's one point that I want to make. And also, ladies, when it comes to a man, and the idea of them controlling you, understand that it is also a man trying to lead you, trying to guide you, trying to. Then again, it also depends from what point he's coming across. I mean, with regards to her becoming self-sufficient, of course, I don't believe that Kiam is then an insecure man, because if he was insecure, you would expect you're gonna sit at home. When I come home, I want my plate of food, and you're gonna be. You're not going anywhere. You're going to be looking after the kids. But the fact that he wanted her to become self-sufficient shows that he wants her to feel better about herself, because as soon as you are independent, it creates some sort of security. So now the focus is not just on Kiam. Kiam, what time are you coming home? Kiam, you said you're coming. Where were you? You usually come home at 5:30, but I see you 15 minutes late. Where were you? Go check on the kilometers on the car, because that's all Kiam is. Kiam is her whole life. She has nothing else that she's doing within her free time.
And then when
So
she
now
wants to do
she's
something,
focusing on Kiam with this hourglass, and it's causing anxiety within the relationship. It's putting strain on the relationship.
love it.
So that is the other
And
point.
here's the other
That's the
point.
other point. You both need to also understand that you have your own life.
But that's what I want to say. Now, Kiam has been set rules by missus. Maybe I'm wrong. And she said, this is the way of life, Kiam. We are there for each other, baby. We don't go out with friends. We don't do that. Now, all of a sudden, Kiam, you see this emotion coming out, Kiam. All of a sudden, she tells you, Kiam, I'm going out with my friends tonight. Now, Kiam's like, but you said, baby, we don't do these things. You just trying to control me, Kiam. You don't want me to go out. And you see, you are controlling man. You see, always go back to Alvina's point. Set boundaries from the start, and when it changes, change it collectively together.
Make a conscious decision.
Conscious decision together.
And here's the other thing. You, in a relationship, and I will go back to my point, where you also need to give the relationship room to breathe.
Ooh.
I mean, if when it comes, if you want to plant a seed and you want to grow, you want to grow a flower, you want a flower to grow, and you're planting the seed. When you plant the seed, you need to give the seed access to light, to air, to carbon dioxide, to water, in order for it to develop and in order for it to grow. You can't just expect for it to be in a dark place all the time, and of course nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to develop. So similarly with a relationship, you also need to give it room to grow, room to breathe. That way, that also creates a sense of security within yourself. I would think that is where security starts, feeling secure within yourself, which is what the previous comment was about, with regards to self-love and security. That way, when something is happening within the relationship, you're going to learn to understand, hold on, this is not necessarily about me. I'm not going to take this personally. Let me try to understand where my partner is coming from.
Ooh.
Is it just a stage of insecurity that he's going through? Is it something that I've done that I can work on in order to alleviate this insecurity that he might be feeling? And not coming and attacking him and saying, you insecure, but trying to understand his emotion or her emotion that she's going through at that moment. Communication is also what the previous comment said. The communication is key. And I think that in most cases, when we feel insecure, we tend to hold it in. We don't want to express how we feel, because as most of us, our ego is at stake here. So we don't want to come across as this insecure person that is not confident about him or herself. So now we create all these thoughts in our minds, and we imagine, and we create a dialogue, and thinking that we're going to mind read what our partner is thinking and feeling. And at the end of the day, it just creates more anxiety when you could have addressed a situation when it happened. And when you started feeling insecure, you could have addressed it from the get-go in order for it to not develop. And that way your partner could communicate with you. Is it something that he was unaware of? Maybe it wasn't as you perceived it, and it might not be his or her intention. So we also need to understand, how are we perceiving our partner's actions, or what our partner is saying? How are we interpreting their actions and their words?
Loving it. Woo! Ladies on fire tonight. I'm loving it. McDonald.
So Nadine McDonald says, sometimes a relationship can create insecurities you never had. For example, where your partner will complain or make you aware of a flaw that you never took note of when you were alone. Ignorance is bliss.
Ooh.
I would like to say, though, it depends how your partner is bringing it across. You see, we all have flaws. And I think that in a relationship, the reason for a relationship is there for you to enjoy together, and it is also there for you to grow as a person. Now, if your partner is saying, you know what, there's so much about you that, is perfect. You're not perfect, but there's so much about you that I love. But I think this is where you can maybe work on. This is a flaw that I've noticed that I would like you to develop, not necessarily trying to break you down, but trying to uplift you or to help you grow in that aspect. So we need to look at it. Is our partner trying to break us down, or is it a genuine intention of wanting us, of wanting me to develop and grow? Because that is why you're in a relationship, to develop and grow together.
Exactly. No, but because this is the problem I have with people that say, complain or make you aware of your flaw. So aren't you lucky that you've just mentioned not create a flaw? You said he has made you aware of something that's lacking, So isn't that nice? I think it's nice. I think if someone makes me aware of something I'm lacking, like, wow, I need to work on that. Thank you. It's in my mind is thank you, And if I see, then, wow, what else can you show me that I need to work on? Thank you. You should have taken that. This is the problem. People step in a relationship and expect, my partner took me as is, and now they are maybe overweight, right? Now my partner took me as is. They break up. Look at how much weight I lost to get another boyfriend because he didn't appreciate me when he had me. Why didn't you work out when you were with him? Didn't he maybe remind you of that? Didn't he speak to you? Look at, maybe you're insecure because of that. You see, you need to understand relationships is about growth. You don't step in a relationship expecting to be sugar-coated every day, to be pampered every day just because. You step in the relationship to understand another human being and assist another human being understand himself, and they assist you to understand yourself. Otherwise, that is not a relationship. Why do you have friends? You have friends to talk to them and say, I have this problem. What do you think? And your friends are always like, but say it to us. Are you a bad person or stuff like that? Yeah. That's why you have a friend. The same, your partner, the best partners are partners that were friends before. Exactly. Because they were there to help each other through difficult times, make each other understand what they've done wrong and what they need to work on. But you've accepted it more. But this whole fantasy of Prince Charming has to take everything, all your bull crap is crap.
Yeah.
Same with men also. Yeah. And that's where the problem lies.
And I think this is where we will really lose good people, genuine, real people within our lives. If we cannot accept positive criticism. Because I think that when somebody cares about you, they want to make you aware of the points of development within yourself. If they don't, if they just accept, no, Nadine, you're perfect, you're brilliant, and they accept the way you treat people around you. Maybe, for example, a waiter, you are rude to a waiter, you don't tip a waiter, for example, and now your friend comes in and you're like, you know what, I don't think that was very nice of you, and now you think that she's trying to break you down. That's a real friend trying to make you aware of how to treat people and making you accountable of your actions.
Exactly.
But people that's just going to accept you, are they true? Because it could be that they don't want to lose a certain service that you are rendering to them within that relationship. And they know that if they do make you aware or hold you accountable for your actions, you might just retract and want to end that relationship because you cannot accept positive criticism, and therefore as a result they will also lose the service that you've been rendering to them. So they're more loyal to the service within that relationship that you're rendering to them instead of you as an individual, a growing individual.
So let's just, as we're ending off the show now, guys, you see time goes so quick. I hope you liked, shared, and follow. Anyway, so yeah, I just said to probably to Kiam, let go of the past and move forward within your relationship with yourself, probably also. Yes, I'm holding. We scroll through, blah blah blah. Anyway, take last comment and then we'll move on.
Okay, so Bernadette says insecurities could stem from suppressed emotions and traumas from childhood. So before we get into relationships, we should first become aware that we have these issues and then actively try and heal these issues instead of projecting these insecurities on our partner. This might take some time, but like Lethea says, relationships are opportunities to grow and develop.
Exactly.
100%. I agree with you, Bernadette. Eloise, positive criticism is the main problem for many of my exes, but it's actually helping them to grow.
Exactly. It's the same as Kiyama said also. Let's give Nadine a fair
Nadine
share.
says, I don't think men use the word controlling. Guys have told me that I am too much pressure. Although I want to be independent myself, I wouldn't want to be with a bum. So I would suggest something that could benefit someone's growth, and the guy wouldn't see it as me wanting to see him grow. They would rather press on me that I am too much pressure.
Unfortunately, that's a man that does not
and that
want
is
to grow.
exactly what Eloise says, that positive criticism is the main problem for exes because they cannot take responsibility and accountability for where they find themselves in life.
Okay.
and to move
Lethea,
forward.
ending off. We actually went over time.
Yes, okay.
Almost 1 minute, Lethea, 2 minutes.
Ooh, so
Lethea's gonna end
I
off
would
fast
say
for you.
to close off, I would say that we need to try to relinquish our need for control within life in general. I think that we need to understand that the only certainty in life is death.
What?
Yes.
I thought you live after death.
Once we and you know, when we make peace with the fact that we are mortal, we realize that we should not care about what anybody else thinks. We should not care what whether a relationship is going to fail or through ending or death. And I think this is when we learn to move through our insecurities, because at the end of the day, nothing in life is absolute. Nothing in life is certain. Nothing in life is going to last forever. A relationship as well. And once we can learn to accept this, we can learn to deal with our insecurities in a much better way and not wanting to always be certain about everything within our life. So I would say relinquish your desire or your need to be certain about everything and your desire and your need for control, and understand that this life is a pop in and a pop out.
Love that.
All you need to know is, how am I going to live this life? What is this experience of life going to be for me? I can die happy, and I can die sad. It's all up to you how you're going to go through this experience of life and the lessons that you choose to learn from all the people you meet.
Love it.
Whether it is a relationship for a year, a relationship for a month, a relationship for 10 years or 20 years, you learn from each and every soul you come across that crosses paths with you. Even the person on a train, even someone that you speak to over the phone, even the salesperson you can learn something from. Connecting in life is vital. But if you're going to be afraid of connecting with someone because of past hurt, then you are you are pushing away the opportunity for growth, because that's the only way you grow is through in relationships and connecting with other people and learning to understand yourself. Because at the end of the day, we come into this life to love. That's all we come in. We come in with nothing. We leave with nothing. Whatever happens within this life, it's for us to enjoy. And I think that's why, for me, yes, I know Biden has stage 4 cancer, but I've accepted that nothing in life is certain. And this experience is what is much more beneficial for me. This experience means so much more than my fear of losing him.
Wow. That's powerful. I'll leave you guys with that. Normally I say some crappy. I like to talk, but that hit home, and I hope you take in connection as the only way forward. In that sense, the contradiction is about relationships.
Exactly.
Like, catch us every week on Monday.
Yes,
Season
Mondays.
5 now. I can't even believe it.
Yes.
DSTV 263 every Monday at 9 p.m. And also Cape Town Television also. That's on your channel if you have. Tune it in. But yeah, guys, love you, man. Lethea, is there anything else you wanted to say?
You are strong enough to overcome anything within this life, and just believe it. Tell that to yourself. I have a strong mind and I have a positive spirit. You go through that, you can overcome anything.
Love that.
Nothing in life will be a reason for you to fear.
Wow. Reshare this. That last part. Chop it out. TikTok it. Send it out. Love you guys. Good night.